Have you ever had one of those days where you just sit in your car in the driveway for 10 extra minutes before going inside? Because you know the second you turn the key in that front door, someone's going to need something from you. And you are just so tired, not just physically tired, but this deep down spiritual kind of exhaustion. You're trying so hard. You're paying the bills. You're trying to be a good partner. You're trying to keep up with everyone else, but you just feel entirely empty. And maybe you've caught yourself looking around at your messy, ordinary life, just silently begging, God, I need a miracle right now. I need you to fix this. You wait for the sky to part. You wait for this massive lightning bolt of breakthrough. And instead, you just get Monday morning. The alarm goes off, the kids are cranky, the inbox is full, and everything is exactly the same. I used to think that meant something was wrong with me, like I was doing faith wrong. But let me tell you something that actually took a massive weight off my chest. If you are exhausted from begging God to completely parachute a brand new reality into your life, your exhaustion isn't a punishment. You aren't failing. You might just be fighting the wrong battle. I think a lot of us have this weird misconception. We've bought into this idea that God only moves in spectacular, shiny ways. We think miracles only happen when he completely erases our messy reality and hands us a perfect one. So when things get hard, we just pray for an escape hatch, right? God, get me out of this job. Fast forward this season of my life. Fix this immediately. And when a completely new life doesn't just drop into our laps, we burn out. But I don't know if this makes sense. The kingdom of God usually doesn't start in the clouds. It usually starts in the dirt. God doesn't usually throw away the messy parts of our lives to give us a miracle. He actually uses the mess as the raw material. It's weird because it's kind of like when you're starving after a brutal day. You don't have the energy to cook, so you just open your phone and stare at a delivery app, wanting someone to bring you a finished, perfect meal from the outside. Meanwhile, sitting right behind you in the fridge, there's chicken, vegetables, rice. You have all the raw ingredients. But because it requires chopping, and it's going to make a mess on the counter, you ignore it. We sit there begging for the takeout, while God is kind of just pointing at the fridge. There's this story. Jesus' first miracle, turning water into wine at a wedding. We usually hear it and think, oh, cool party trick. But in that culture, running out of wine wasn't just a catering mistake. It was a massive, humiliating disaster. It was the kind of shame that would ruin a family's reputation in their community forever. So, Jesus is there, and he's God. He literally could have snapped his fingers and materialized the most expensive wine from the sky, but he doesn't do that. Instead, he looks over at these 6 stone water jars sitting in the corner. And maybe this sounds strange, but those jars were disgusting. They weren't for drinking. They were literally used to wash the mud and sweat off people's feet when they walked in from the dirt roads. They were the absolute dirtiest, most unglamorous, embarrassing things in the entire house. And Jesus looks at the absolute messiest part of their reality and says, fill those. He uses the actual dirt of their daily lives to hold the miracle that saves them from ruin. I think a lot of us are hiding our stone jars from God right now. You hide the messy living room, the credit card debt, the days you lose your temper, the social anxiety, because you think God only wants the fine china. We think we have to clean ourselves up before he can do anything with us. But he is looking at the exact things you are ashamed of, The ordinary, boring, messy parts of your Tuesday. And he's saying, I can use that. So, how do we actually live like this? Honestly, it's not some intense spiritual boot camp. It's just 3 tiny ordinary shifts. First, stop hiding the dirt. When you feel completely overwhelmed in the grocery store aisle or staring at a stack of bills, stop pretending you have it together. Just acknowledge it. A simple breath in the car. Lord, this is messy today, and I don't know how to fix it, but I'm giving it to you. Second, just do the ordinary thing. Jesus didn't tell the servants to make the wine. He just asked them to carry the water, which is boring. But your job isn't to manufacture the miracle. Your job is just to do the next right thing. Send the email. Make the dinner. Apologize to your spouse even when it's awkward. Just do the ordinary things faithfully. And third, let go of the outcome. When they took that water to the master of the banquet, they had no idea if it worked. They just had to step out. When you do the tiny right thing, it's no longer your reputation on the line. It's his. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning and not having that heavy, crushing pressure in your chest to perform perfectly. Imagine looking at your chaotic week and realizing it's not a sign that you're failing. It's just the exact place where God is preparing something good. You don't need expensive spiritual takeout. You just need to let him use what is already sitting in your house. If you are just so tired of trying to force things to work on your own, I want you to do something with me right now. Type this in the comments below. Use my stone jars. Just type it out. Let that be a quiet way of telling your own brain that the striving is officially over. Let it be an actual moment where you hand over the unglamorous parts of your life. And listen, if you open your phone and realize you know someone who is running on 1% battery today, someone burning themselves out, trying to fix everything, send this to them. Remind them they don't have to be perfect. I'm so glad you're here. Take a deep breath. You're going to be okay. I'll see you in the next video.